So how long were you travelling for?
I started in 2013 and travelled around Asia. So we were in India, Nepal, and then we flew over to Thailand and did Indochina. So China, Cambodia, Laos, up to China briefly for a bit, then down to Indonesia. And then the second bout of travelling, we were in Bulgaria for a few months and then followed by Turkey.
Okay. And describe what you're wearing today and why you chose to wear it.
So today I've got on some hemp trousers, which is organic hemp, dyed with natural dye, and then this jacket here is made from khadi, which is a traditional cloth from Asia, like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and it's hand woven generally, and this is an Egyptian pattern, and again it's all vegetable dye, so natural dyes, and the top similarly vegetable dyes. This is from India. The belt actually goes with the jacket, but I prefer to wear it with this top. And as you can see at the back, it's kind of like hand, like embroidered there as well.
And how do you think travelling has affected your choices in clothing?
I think going to India in particular, you see so many shops that are selling your typical traveller wear. And a lot of the trousers that are this kind of style, like harem pants with like a low crotch, or quite vibrant patterns and prints. So I think part of the reason I started dressing the way I did was sheer practicality, because when you're in hot climates and traveling around a lot, having like loose baggy trousers is really, really comfortable. Also the bindi that I'm wearing, I'd always liked that from my first trip to India, which was in I think 2007. So it's something I just wore every now and then. So originally I did start wearing it purely for aesthetic purposes, but since I've got more into certain Eastern philosophies, it's also more symbolic of the third eye chakra. So it's kind of a reminder to me as well, like in terms of meditation and kind of consciousness expansion.
Do you dress for comfort, or is it anything you wear for a statement?
It is for comfort. These trousers are super comfortable. And everything, well, a lot of what I wear is quite loose and flowing, so it feels quite nice to not be constrained by fabric. But other reasons I've started changing how I've dressed is because of environmental reasons. So again, rather than buying things that are like mass produced in fossil fuel factories in China, supporting more artisanal crafts, so things that are handmade, which of course are a bit more expensive, but then those things feel a little bit more special and a bit more unique. And I think also it's kind of about embracing sometimes like the imperfection in things, which the things that make things that little bit different, rather than a whole range of clothes that come off a production line absolutely identical. But that's very much, I think, kind of like a Western viewpoint that we do, even like fruit and vegetable, like we do want everything kind of like very perfect and very neat, and the vegetables aren't quite so perfect in terms of physical experience, physical appearance, are the ones that are disregarded.
Why do you think tribal wear is so popular at festivals?
I think again, a lot of people that go to festivals, part of that is tied in with the travelling culture. So it's very typical that you'll see a lot of the stalls at festivals like selling Nepalese wear, Indian wear. So again, I think it's people kind of embracing this kind of very loose, free-spirited feeling that people really want to get into when they go to festivals. Part of it as well, I think, is festival wear has its own look now, whether it's feathers in the hair, or Wellington boots, or baggy pants, or psychedelic tops. So I think some people will do it because it's partly to fit in with that whole culture. Other people because it's not stuff that they necessarily feel like they could wear in their everyday lives. And a lot of what's behind a festival is kind of letting go and having fun. So people can be a little bit more fun with what they choose to wear.
Do you feel like people need to dress a certain way at festivals?
Again, I think some people might feel they need to fit in, which is again just kind of a very sort of natural way that humans are in many respects, wanting to fit in. I think some people. Sorry, Lizzie.
I can cut it out. It's fine.
What was the question?
What do people feel like they need to dress a certain way at festivals?
Okay. I'm going to sort of repeat what I said in the last bit, though, aren't I?
So about the patterns and stuff, and how maybe it's trickled down into mainstream festivals.
Yeah, okay.
And into like high street like shops, like they've noticed like a trend in like these like hippie festivals, and now they're adopting it so you can get that kind of look at a more like mainstream.
Yeah. Okay.
In a mainstream way.
Right, ask the question again.
Yeah. Do people feel they need to dress a certain way at festivals?
I think some people feel that they do because it has got its own kind of culture and look, and some people I think would do it to kind of fit in. I think other people just want to be a bit more playful and fun with their clothing, so you know they can get away with these more outrageous prints or crazy like hair pieces. I think part of it as well is been down to the availability now, whereas you know if you look at festivals that were going on back in the 60s and a lot of these very loose flowing fabrics and again like quite crazy prints and patterns and unusual materials, a lot of these you know are quite easy to get hold of now because they've been adopted by a lot of the high street retailers. Like ASOS every year will have its you know typical kind of festival like headbands and beads, you know the wellies come out. So I think part of it as well is just that availability and that people feel more confident to maybe wear those clothes at a festival compared to what they might wear, you know, in their normal day-to-day life. And particularly as well because festivals generally happen in the summer. That's another way that people can kind of wear, like you know, a lot of things that they wouldn't necessarily be able to wear all year round. So it can translate across both. I think as well some festivals, depending on how mainstream it is, some festivals are very much about kind of like spirituality and you know kind of letting go. So there's also the psychedelic prints that are part of become part of hippie culture and over the years. And right, scrap that last bit. I'm just waffling on now.
No,
Scrap it after I
good.
said.
That was good.
No, because I've lost what I was sort of saying. You need to scrap it after. When did I start going off? Basically, after I said about the ASOS stuff, I just cut it there.
All right. And that's it, yeah?
Yeah.